I've got an issue I want to talk about that's really been on my mind. So this large YouTuber has had multiple times with animals dying. And I know on a farm or homesteading, that's going to happen occasionally. My problem is when you don't do everything you can to help that animal out. But man, we got to use some common sense. And it's irritating to watch this YouTuber have an entire flock of sheep die. And the only solution that he has while they're sick and they can't walk, or they're having the green apple side steps for 2 weeks, is he give them some minerals and said, that's all I can do. Yes, I spent an entire year last year with 2 tick illnesses. I had Rocky Mountain spotted fever and another one that I can't pronounce. And I thought it was going to kill me. I was passing out. I was having heart issues, confusion, just a lot of different things. It went almost a year before I figured out what was wrong with me. I went to the doctor and got some medicine. I didn't want to take the medicine, but I had to in order to still be here. If these animals get sick, I'm going to give them something to make them healthy. My dog has been to the vet because she's been sick before. This guy had an entire flock of sheep die, and they wasted away, and he gave them some minerals and said, that's all I can do. Okay, I thought, well, that's just poor management of your animals. Well, then there was another video. Another sheep was sick and was having a really difficult time. But we don't have vet bills on this YouTube channel. There are no vet bills. I mean, we're proud of this. No vet bills. We don't ever give our animals anything. It's irresponsible ownership. Barely moving around and getting dizzy and having to lay down. But he gave it minerals. I don't know what happened to the sheep. I'm sure it died like the rest of them. Then I watched them try every way that there is to raise pigs, from small little bitty areas to big compost piles where they would poop in it, and then he would just cover it up and they can root around in their own poop and stuff, which is not really the way it's intended to be, but it's what he was trying. That didn't work. So he went to pasturing, and he couldn't keep them up because it was too much work. He had them in a forested area like this, and like I talked about in my one video, you have to be there all the time to keep an eye on those electric fences if you're doing electric fences. So he put them in a wooded area, and of course there'd be shorts in it or something like that. A limb would fall on, something would happen, his pigs would be out, and they're trying to round these pigs up. Well, then he realized that if a pig hits that electric fence when it's spooked, it just runs through it. Once they realize that they can just run through that, they'll just keep doing it. So then he went to a greenhouse. He's raising pigs in a greenhouse. Well, that works in northern climates, way up north in the winter, where they can put them in a greenhouse to keep them warm so they don't freeze to death in the winter. It's not intended for hot environments. It's not intended for days where the temperature gets 80 degrees or more. A pig can't sweat, and it will die of heat stroke. So he has a sow that's farrowing. He has several in there. They actually walk in the video and say that it's pretty warm in here. Oh, but it's not that bad. Well, you have a sow that's farrowing. They're under a lot of stress anyway. And just by nature, sometimes they can get so stressed out that they do die. But when you put them in a hot house with no way to stay cool, they're going to end up dying. Well, she died. They just drug her out. She looked like she was kind of bloated to me by the time they found her. But it was just irritating to me because it was irresponsible ownership. I know that things just happen, but there seems to be a common theme on this guy's channel where he kills his animals because he won't do the things that responsible owners do. I just don't. I mean, that animal's dependent upon you. We don't give our animals growth hormones. We don't give our animals antibiotics in their feed. We don't give them all of those things that they don't need. But if they're sick, we're going to care for them. That's just the right thing to do. I'm not a medicine guy. I don't take a lot of medicine. I don't want to think that this animal's just suffering and I didn't do everything I could do because I'm taking some kind of, I don't even understand the moral high ground of that it is. I mean, we've gotten so obsessed with no antibiotics and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Every one of us have had an antibiotic in our lifetime. The antibiotics that we're supposed to be trying to keep away from our animals is a daily dose of antibiotics in their feed. It's the growth hormones and stuff. It's the things that really aren't that good for them. Not an occasional, I'm talking maybe once in their lifetime that they may need something. It's irritating to me. And I've went weeks thinking about this, not posting anything about it, not going on a rant, but it's irritating to watch people put this crap out there with millions of viewers, 1.5 or whatever they're at, million viewers that are listening to their advice because they think that they know what they're doing. And I'm not some type of crusader or anything, but I want everyone to know that's not something that you want to do with your animals. We've got to have some type of common sense when it comes to raising our pets. You know, most people are going to have dogs, you have children, you have things. When they're sick, we take care of them. We make sure that we show compassion for that animal. He wouldn't give any explanation to what happened to the sow that died. They drug her out, tried to bottle feed, eventually got the piglets to eat and everything. No explanation of what they even thought. People in the comments were asking, what happened? What happened? No explanation. It was pretty clear what happened. The animal got too hot because we don't want to have wallows. You know, wallows are nasty. Pigs need them. When you start hitting 80 degrees, you better have them something to lay in, some way to stay cool, or you're going to kill them. Commercial hog farms raise them inside, but it's a conditioned area. It's an absolutely a controlled environment where they cannot get too hot. It doesn't make any sense to me. Minerals are preventative, right? It's to keep them healthy. And then if you do get sick, you address the situation the best you can, and you can try natural things. And people, this is what people always tell me. Well, the wild animals, what do? When they get sick, they just eat natural stuff. Well, they die. That's part of nature. The weak die and the strong survive. Every once in a while, you'll have one pull through. I'm an outdoorsman. I can tell you right now, I see sick animals out there, and we try to put them down if they're too bad sick. And we'll catch them on game cameras and stuff that we can't do anything for, and those animals don't make it. I know that I probably seem a little irritated because I kind of am. Not because I care what that guy's doing. I mean, yeah, I hate that he's doing that to his animals. So there's nothing I can do about that. But what does irritate me really badly is that he's putting it out there like he's doing everything he can, and people are buying into that. And people are like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. So then it makes me wonder how many animals are being killed by homesteaders and small farms because they're following this guy's advice. Let's get off our ideas that we can't give our animals any kind of medications to keep them healthy. We got to think. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Sorry for the long rant. And you may not even watch this, but if you do, just think about the health of your animals. Let's don't torture them. Let's make sure that we're responsible and that we do right by them. Thanks.